Now entering the world of TOTKORadio. Go fuck yourself, fuckface. Alright. Last night I did this for about an hour. It was kind of fun. I only had 2 people listening. Gaga's Teeth, I don't know where the hell he is, and some Anon. The Alejandro video. Initially I was somewhat disappointed about it because I think the hype was somewhat misdirected via the teaser. In a way, it kind of, the way I see it, it took what we thought was going to happen into one, it just kind of fucking flew that direction, and then the actual video itself went a completely other fucking way, and we're like, what the hell? But I wasn't really that disappointed. I was just slightly disappointed. Maybe I just shouldn't watch the trailers anymore, and I figured, why not? As for the video itself, I found it fucking amazing. Every time I watch it, I want to watch it again. Maybe not necessarily immediately, but I know that at some point I gotta fucking watch it again. I feel that there's some editing mistakes, perhaps, in it. At 6 minutes 16 seconds in, there, to me, seems like this very drastic transition. And there's even pieces of what the trailer, I think, assumes should be in it, but it's not. Now, not all trailers have the context within something. You know, sometimes you see a movie trailer and it doesn't have some of the stuff that's in that movie, and that's fine. But this isn't a movie. It's a, you know, an almost 9 minute long music video. So I could see that maybe they did a little bit of editing magic in regards to that, but not literally take out content. At 6 minutes 36 seconds, there's yet another drastic change, and it just seems as if maybe there was a little bit of laziness or perhaps oversight in regards to this. I don't know. I personally don't find it in a technical sense to be the best video because it doesn't have a proper flow. Now, I'm not some magical technological dude when it comes to shit like that. You know, I don't know my shit, but it didn't feel right. Also, about halfway there, when she goes from basically banging those dudes in the ass to the Joan of Arc scene where she's surrounded by all the guys and they're on the floor, if you notice, one of the guys basically just stands up and joins the ranks. He totally fucked up his choreography, and it's in the final product. It doesn't make any sense. Final note, though, she has 2 signature things that have been in her videos, except for like 2 of them. One thing has been in every single video since the beginning, and that is Beats by Dr. Dre. Every single video has Beats by Dr. Dre, whether it's the Heartbeats in the recent videos, Telephone and Bad Romance, or if it's, you know, one of the laptops, or if it's a pair of headphones, whatever it is. The other is the Harlequin Great Danes. Now, those weren't in Just Dance, and they weren't in Beautiful Dirty Rich. Other than that, they've been in all the other videos. Now, in Bad Romance and in Telephone, there was only one dog because apparently Rumpus, the child of Lava, died at some point. So there's only one dog in each of those videos. Paparazzi, Poker Face, AA, all that good stuff. Dogs were in there at some point. One dog or 2, it didn't matter. Love Game, they were sitting up at the top of the stairwell. That's the first one. That's the Alejandro. If you've got any suggestions, throw them at me. You'll be now listening to whatever music it is you're listening. Okay. The theme so far. Now, it might go away. It just depends on what other people say and how my mind deviates from this whole pretext, but earlier today I was listening to the Eurythmics' Sweet Dreams, and I realized the main reason why I like female vocalists, because they can hit some of those notes and it almost sounds sexy. I think in a way it is sexy, but it's not like, you know, porno sexy, obviously. It's that effeminate, very distinct female sound that just says, hey, I've got estrogen and a lot of it. You should be attracted to this. And, you know, I figure as a straight male, I mean, I only fuck women that I know of. I mean, unless, you know, somewhere along the lines I've fucked men and I didn't know about it, but I don't think that's the case. And I'm sure there are other people who, you know, might consider that because I listen to Gaga. I don't give a shit. But needless to say, I fuck women. And I like feminine sounding women. Now granted, you know, Jessica Rabbit, come on! The bitch has got an amazing voice. Too bad Kathleen Turner has it. Oh god, she's ugly and old now. You know, if I could literally... Okay. Jessica Rabbit was at one point portrayed by Jessica Biel, who has a relatively distinct voice, moderately deep for a woman, and she did a damn good job. I think Justin Timberlake, who at the time was her boyfriend, I don't know if they're still dating, I think it was Saturday Night Live or some shit, and they did some stupid skit or whatever, but that's why I like female vocalists. It's that sexiness, it's that femininity. You know, listening to Just Dance, when she hits that high note towards the end, and hell, other parts of the song, obviously, I mean, not just one, but when I first heard those songs, I was like, holy shit, oh man, that's awesome. And, you know, I know that pretty much at that point I was hooked, but not necessarily for the hooks. And then Poker Face, when she says, can't read my, no, he can't read my poker face. When she says it, especially when she hits that my, it's, I don't know, it's so, I can't think of the fucking word, it's just awesome. Right now, I'm a little bit drunk because I had some wine. I finished off that bottle from the other night. I just decided to drink out of the motherfucker. Whatever. That's about it for now. Let's see what happens. Okay, at this point, I don't know if I want to continue with the female vocalist thing. I got Mr. Anon here wondering what the hell's wrong with me. I don't know if this is the same person from last night or just another Anon. But just to let you know, I may not stay on topic for more than 15 seconds at any given time. At the moment, I feel like speaking in some weird, stupid accent. So I'm gonna see if I can find something stupid to read on. So let's just stupid to read. Google. I'll go to Wikipedia. Fuck it. Aldo Ferrer. Aldo Ferrer was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1927 and enrolled at a prestigious University of Buenos Aires School of Economics, where he received a doctorate in 1949. Appointed to the UN Secretariat in 1950, his first book, The State and Economic Development, 1953, earned him early repute as a defender of industrial protectionism. A student of Professor Raw whatever fucking foreign name. He was named Economic Policy Attaché to the Argentine Embassy in London when fuckface in the back became Minister of the Economy in 1956, following the progressive UCRI's victory at the polls in 1958. Fuck all that shit. You know, Neutral Milk Hotels in the airplane over the sea. I couldn't even get through the first fucking song. What is wrong with Moo? What is wrong with you, Moo? Bunch of fucking hipsters. You're trying to listen to something that's over 10 years old, and you're trying to say that it's this Hell, I don't even know what the hell you're trying to call it. I tried listening to other songs, but maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a rarity, a rare jewel in this world. But when I listen to music, I want to like what I'm hearing. I want the sound to be good, not obnoxious, not what sounds like randomness or just noise or whatever. And you know what? To each their own, of course. I think you're nuts, but I'm sure you think I'm nuts too. Now go listen to your NMH. We are the crowd, we're coming out. Got my flesh on, it's true. But that picture of you, it's so magical. We'd be so fantastical. Alright, I know that's a little stereotypical, but I had to do that again. It was fun, and I fucked up, and I don't know where the link is for that one. So I guess it's just lost into interwebs. Yeah, I was singing paparazzi and stereotypical indie Hindu voice. Mariah Carey. You know, she used to be hot. She used to be really fucking hot, actually, in the 80s and the early 90s. But then at some point, she became... You know, I don't like using this word very often, but I'm going to do it because I think it emphasizes the point. She basically became nigger trash. I don't really like saying that word. It kind of makes me feel bad. You know, trash. No, I'm kidding. That's not the word. It's the other one that starts with the N. I know this is fucking 4chan, and I don't care. You know, there's a bunch of assholes on here who think that word is just the greatest thing in the world. I think it's disrespectful in general. I think it's useful at times, but the problem is most people don't use it properly. Because she's half black, half white, she's got some, you know, good qualities going on. She's got a nice little ass. Because she has more of a white face. I'm not racist. Okay, usually people who say that are, but I'm really not. When it comes to attraction, there's a difference between race and what you find to be attractive. You know, it's like hair color. You know, in a way, it's like my last rant when it comes to music and what you like. You know, Neutral Milk Hotel can be really good music, but if I don't like it, I don't like it, and it doesn't matter. I'm not being a jackass because I don't like it. It doesn't appeal to me. You know, I like short women. Maybe that's the reason. Well, I mentioned it last night. You know, Gaga is apparently 5 foot tall, right at the zero. Probably why she wears foot high goddamn heels. You know, 10-inch heels and shit. You know, with platforms on the front end. I don't care. It's sexy for short women. I don't know why. Granted, it can't be, you know, a short fat bitch because she's fat. I'm sorry. If you're fat, you're not sexy. But Mariah Carey has, like, amazing vocal range. She hits notes that don't even sound like they're human. But it sounds like a human is producing it, obviously, because a human is in fact doing so. But it's almost inhuman in how she can pull this shit off. And I'm sure she still does it today. I haven't listened to shit of hers in so long. But she was basically my first, if you will, Gaga. You know, I'm like I said last night, if I had the opportunity, if I had all the resources that I have now, you know, the internet, YouTube, all that shit, Wikipedia, all these interviews that were taped and put up on things like YouTube, and if I was as mature and smart and analytical as I am, but you know, 13 years ago, when I was 15, if I had all this massive resource that I have now, then, oh yeah, I'd have been all up on that bitch. I'd have been like, marry me, Mariah. I'm only 15 years old, but I want to get married to you, and I want to fuck your brains out. I don't actually think I sounded like that when I was younger. I probably sounded similar to what I am now. Probably why somebody mentioned that my voice didn't sound like it broke yet. I'm like, I don't know when it's gonna fucking happen because I'm 28 and it still sounds like this. But Apologies. I don't know what to say, so I'm just gonna post this. Have fun listening. Alright, now I've got beer. Because I wanted beer. That wine, I had it sitting in the fridge without the cork in it because the other night when I had it open, it was just, sitting here. I was pouring it into my glass every now and then. And I had forgot about this concept. Most people call it thermal expansion. Usually when something that's cold is in an environment that is warmer than it heat transfers and the thing expands. And since it's cork, it's gonna expand. Now I stuck it back in the fridge for a little while, but it didn't do shit. So I said, fuck it, I'll just put it in the fridge and stick it in there, and maybe I'll drink it another time. So I stuck an uncorked bottle of cheap wine into my fridge, and then drank it earlier today. It didn't taste bad. It was only in there for 2 days. And weirdly, oddly enough, I don't know, oddly, whatever. I go in there, I get a bottle of Shiner, pour it into a disposable cup, and maybe it's because I've already got alcohol in my system, and so my taste buds have been possibly affected by it, but it tasted sweeter. I don't know. I just thought of something. I've probably seen the Alejandro video. I haven't watched it within the last, I'd say, 6 hours or so. I watched it like once when I was at work. No, I watched it a couple of times at work, but it was mostly during the first half of my shift, up to about 8 o'clock. Central Daylight Time, mind you. Since then, I hadn't really watched it. I was watching other stuff. I was watching the Speechless performance with her and Elton John at the Grammys. I watched Your Song after that, because that song is fucking amazing. And unfortunately, on the YouTube comments, they're just talking about homosexuality and how, it's wrong or whatever. And I'm like, who cares? Who cares? It's a beautiful song. It doesn't matter why he wrote it. It doesn't matter who he wrote it for. It doesn't matter the context, or the sort of subversive context, if you will. It doesn't fucking matter. The only thing that matters is that you hear this song and you have a reaction to it. Hopefully not a bigoted bullshit, inhumane fuckface reaction like those gay bashers. Hopefully you have something that's emotive, it's deep and soulful, and it's funny. Let's go back to Gaga. Oh no, he's so simple-minded. I heard that last night and it almost sounded like Homer Simpson. I'm gonna see if I can try that one of these days. Bad Romance. I tried to explain this to people before, but then I realized I was talking to a bunch of hipsters who don't give a shit. It's probably why there's nobody actually listening to this, except for maybe one Anon and Teeth again. Bad Romance doesn't talk about just love between friends, or a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. You can literally translate that song into any relationship. We're not talking about intimate. We're not talking about, general love either. We're talking about any relationship. Me and my boss, who's a guy, and now, okay, listen first before you start making fucking assumptions. If I wanted to somehow or another, I don't know exactly how I would pull this off, and I know this is, for the most part, a bad analogy, but if I wanted to develop some sort of stronger relationship with my boss, let's say I wanted to develop a relationship with him so that I would get promoted, I would most likely have to begin accepting some of the negative things about him and sort of spinning them around to be more of merit instead of flaw. That's generally how that shit works. You know, I mean, let's go ahead and put it into a real context so it makes a little more sense. I got a sister who's about 8 years younger than me, and, you know, we never have been really that close. And when I considered this sort of additional philosophy of the song, I realized that I want a bad romance with my sister, but, you know, I don't want to fuck her. I don't want to love her in that way. I want to develop a stronger emotional bond with this person. And in doing so, I'm going to have to understand that she has character flaws. But I have to be able to look at those character flaws and decide that they are worth having a stronger bond with her. You can do that with your parents. You can do that with your friends. You can do that with a coworker if you want. It doesn't have to be related to sex. It doesn't have to be related to love. All it has to do is relationship. Hell, look at the fucking video. She wants a bad romance with this so-called mafioso. The way it looks is she starts out as she's like this sex slave for the most part. She's in a sensory deprivation chamber. She comes out where only her nose and her mouth can sense. Her hands, of course. She's got touch, taste, and smell. She can't see or hear. Then she's bathed, and she's got the wide-eyed look, so she's obviously this innocent. And then she's stripped and drugged by supermodels, and then essentially pushed off to auction for these mafiosos. But in the end, what happens is that although there is no sexual intercourse that we can see, it appears as if in some sense or another that there was in fact some kind of intercourse. But in the end, what happens? The dude gets burned, not her. So she gets what she wants. It's a bad romance. Perhaps she was manipulating the whole circumstances. Who knows? That's just one way of looking at it. But you can have a bad romance with anybody. It's just, do you really want one? Okay, Beatles. I'll be honest. I don't really know a lot about them. The amount of music that I've been exposed to has been limited, and for the most part, now not all, there are good Beatles songs, obviously. You know, can I rattle them off the top of my head right now? No. Because I don't want to, and that's not how this works. But generally, I really don't care for them. That's blasphemous, I know, right? Oh my God. How can you not like the Beatles? Well, for starters, how come you don't like Lady Gaga? Oh, I don't know, rattle on some sort of bullshit list. Well, I could do the same if I wanted to, but the reality is, as I stated before, I have to enjoy what I'm hearing. And if I'm not enjoying what I'm hearing, I'm not enjoying it. I guess that's circular logic, I don't know, but it sounds pretty logical to me. If you don't enjoy it, how are you going to enjoy it? If something about it is unappealing, why are you going to continue enjoying it? You know, I like Yellow Submarine. I'm not going to fucking listen to it all goddamn day. I don't even know the last time I heard it. I'm not going to Google it right now, and I'm not going to listen to it on YouTube, because I don't have a desire to do so at this point. If I heard it on the radio, or if I heard it somewhere, sure, I like it. I like a bit of John Lennon's work. What was it? Gaga actually did a cover of one of his songs. Let me see something. Gaga covers Lennon. Imagine. Imagine is a very awesome song. Now, granted, it's not Beatles. It's John Lennon. But it's a beautiful song. She did a great job of it. Granted, she even mentioned this when she was playing the song, that in doing so, she changed the lyrics and a little bit of the tune up and whatnot for more appropriate, to appropriate, if you will, the context of what was going on. Because she was doing it for the LGBT community, like the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community, who are essentially right now the blacks of the 60s. They are currently dealing with their own civil rights movement. And, you know, so many people I hear bitching about it because they're like, well, they're all up in your face about it, and, you know, and I think it's just unnecessary. I'm like, what's necessary then? Just, you know, try to, you know, do it underground? Try to see if you do as little as possible to get the most amount? No, it doesn't work like that. We know how this works. We know it requires revolution. It requires revolt to do shit like that. And she's one of those people who's trying to help that stuff. Like I said, I can't really name a whole lot of Beatles songs off the top of my head. I'd have to look for them. I can go ahead and do that now. I mean, I guess that's at least, you know, nice. The Beatles. It's the Beatles. Let's go ahead and look at their discography here on Wikipedia. Hard Day's Night. It's a great song. Help. I need somebody help. Good song too. But am I going to listen to it regularly? No. I do know that in one of her interviews, it was the one on Noisevox, Gaga, she mentioned talking about Abbey Road. Oh, okay. It's funny. I've seen that fucking picture I don't know how many times, and I didn't know what it was. Now I do. Come Together, good song. Something, I don't know if I've heard it or not. Maxwell Silverhammer. Well, let me go to the actual track listing here. Come Together, good song, like I said. I Want You, She's So Heavy. Some of these songs I don't know what they are. Here Comes the Sun, Because, You Never Give Me Your Money, Sun King, Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam. She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, The End, Her Majesty. See, most of this doesn't sound familiar. Come Together, okay. There you go. Beer burp. And Gaga actually mentioned in that, like I said, that in that Noisevox interview. It's her longest interview that I know of. It's like an hour long. It's available on YouTube. And she's sitting there with John Norris, who has actually interviewed Madonna, of all people. And she's talking about how she's not one of those people who will listen to the iPod Shuffle. She doesn't shuffle. And she said that she listened to Abbey Road for like 4 months straight. That is a long time to listen to one album. And I just saw this. Come Together is 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. I seriously need more people in this thread. Because right now I'm having a hard time thinking of anything. You know, I'm playing Gaga in the background. Because even though I know that after listening to this whole spiel from last night, it was it's kind of obvious in the background, and I don't know if anybody disliked that or if they liked it or whatever. I really do wish there were more people in this. But, hold on a sec. I'm going to read something real quick. Not out loud. I'm going to read it to myself in my brain. Huh. Please send forth your most attractive. Shoot this cow in the neck. I will cover shipping. Oh, that's horrible. Anyway. My music collection sucks. Relatively speaking. I mean, I like it. It's not as much as I'd like it to be. I'm sure plenty of people think that's shit because, you know, I've got things like Gaga and Britney Spears and, you know, Death Clock and LaRue. Granted, I only like 2 of her songs, Bulletproof and Tiger Lily. You know, I watched the Bulletproof... Here we go, finally. I watched the Bulletproof video, and it almost ruined the song for me. That is a very high-energy pop song, and what is she fucking doing? She's walking around on what looks to be a treadmill, and all it is fucking CG. That's it. She has no expression on her face. She's got this stoic look. Her posture sucks. She looks like she's pissed the whole time. Which is weird, because how can you be stoic and look pissed at the same time? I don't fucking know. But maybe it's the makeup or some shit. It was boring! That video, I'm sorry, it sucked. You know, you've got this thumping, high-energy fucking song, and what is she doing? She's just walking around like she's at the fucking mall. Not even buying anything. I mean, I've seen women at the mall. Occasionally, they're all, wee, gotta go buy everything I fucking can. Otherwise, they're, you know, walking around looking at shit, you know, gabbing with each other, whatnot. This was visually, okay, sure, it was somewhat appealing, but come on. That's my response to that fucking video. Because I have better moves for that song than were otherwise portrayed in that music video. It was horrible. Now, I haven't seen any of the other shit, but I don't know if I want to. Especially since there's only one other song that I actually like. And that's Tiger Lily. I don't know if there's a video for it, and I don't really plan on looking for it. Whatever. I know I covered this somewhat last night. I'm listening to Paper Gangsta. Sorry. Sorry, Gaga. Didn't mean to fuck with your song's title. It grew on me. I really didn't like it that much in the beginning. But in fact, I think of the Fame, it was the one song I liked the least. And that, if I didn't hear it, I didn't care. But yeah, I think I covered it. It's the Anomaly, I think I mentioned at one point. It simply somehow just blossomed into this thing. And it's one of the most repetitive songs ever. Really. She gets to the point about a minute into it, and it's the longest song on the album. It is. It's longer than all of the other songs, and it's the most repetitive, and yet somehow it went from being the least liked, because I didn't really hate it, I didn't really dislike it, I just really didn't care. I didn't have much of an opinion for the most part. I didn't seek it out. I didn't stop playing it if it played. I didn't skip it. And now it's like, yeah. Maybe it's the vocalizations in the background. Turn no paper gangsta, don't sign my life to someone that's got the flavor but don't have no follow through. You know, I'd like it if she actually put out an actual rap song. This is semi-rap. I think maybe a little bit of hip-hop to it, but you know, and maybe she's trying to get the urban population. But I'd like to hear a real rap song from her. I think it'd be interesting. It may or may not be good. I don't know. But, you know, one can fantasize? You know, I don't know if I'm being trolled or not at this point. Finally I've got some, oh shit. Damn it. You ass, you're gonna go to sleep now? Fuck. You went to bed later last night, asshole. Oh well. Maybe you're just tired. I don't know who the hell Watane is, and I don't know who the hell Gigi Allin is, and that's about it. Sorry. Now I'm gonna go ahead and answer this. Mrs. or Mr. Dead Alice Glass. The images that you're providing me, she's actually quite attractive. Hipster chicks, isn't hipster more or less just sort of a concept than anything else? Now, yes, I know that people dress in a certain way and whatnot. I don't really have a whole lot of exposure to hipster chicks, so maybe I'm not necessarily the best person to answer the question. Here's I'll give you a pretty generic answer, I guess. If I find the woman attractive, I really don't give a shit if she's a hipster or not. If I wish to insert my penis into her vagina or her mouth, or if so the circumstance calls for, another region, then I think she's attractive enough, and it doesn't really matter at that point. The idea of hipster, however, seems a little overdone, I think, at least in moo territory. When what it seems to be is in order to be a hipster, you must reject the mainstream. Reminds me of a friend of mine who used to proclaim he was a goth because everything else was considered pink. That was his term for mainstream. Now, he was a charismatic person, and I'm sure in some sense or another he probably epitomizes the hipster. I haven't seen him in almost 10 years, if not longer than that, but he was somewhat pretentious himself. He's a very intelligent person. Somehow he managed working. He managed to go from working at a fucking corner store to working for an insurance company, making over 60 grand a year. How that happened, I don't fucking know. I don't have people offering me jobs, left and right. Maybe it was his charisma. Maybe it was his hipster, or goth, or this let's stay away from the mainstream personality trait. I don't really know. I think, though, the whole hipster concept, I'm probably just reiterating, but it seems a little stupid, really. But you do what you do, and if it is who you are, then it doesn't really matter at that point what I think, because somebody else is going to like you for what it is. Whether you're a hipster chick or a hipster dude, someone's going to like you. I figured I knew that name, Tom York, because it's only been posted fucking everywhere on Moo. I don't know if I've actually heard any Radiohead. I can look at their Wikipedia page. Chances are I probably won't know shit. Tom York discography, Radiohead discography. Let's see. Let's go to their discography. Pablo Honey, The Bins. None of it sounds familiar. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just address the issue. I'm gonna go ahead and agree that he's an idiot, and that the music industry will adapt to the new technology, because that's pretty much what's been going on for I don't know how many years. You got Baroque era, Bach, got Beethoven doing what they did with a complete lack of what would be considered technology these days. Although what they were messing with, pianos and organs and violins, when they were constructed as they were, I'm sure that was like fucking magic to some people. And let's go ahead and just kind of deviate a little bit, and let's go to Gaga. Why not, right? Her shows are extraordinarily technological, and I don't see in any sense whatsoever but poop comes from there. That's nasty. Yes, it does. That's why you wear a condom, because then also if they get a decent enough enema. Now, I've never had sex with a woman in the ass. I don't know if I ever plan on doing that. I'll just go with the flow. Take that how you want. Getting back to it, technology is not going to kill radio. Television didn't kill the radio star. It made it better. We've got shit like Alejandro creating all sorts of fucking backlash and controversy. You know, the music video is amazing. I think so anyway. There are even her fans hate her for this, or dislike her, or whatever. You know, I've seen comments on this shit, and the fact that she's got the ability to do it, now because of the technology, I think it only makes it that much better, really. And really, I think that's pretty much it. That technology is really just going to allow it to be more elaborate, to be more intense. We may not have lo-fi, we may not have, you know, the classical sound, but as long as we have people who want to make music, who can make music, and who do it, I think that's key. As long as they do it, there will be music. Music is the universal language. Don't you have a kingdom to run? I do have work to do. Join the army, they said. See the world, they said. I'd rather be sailing. Now see, apparently they use the same voice for one of the ship, for the ship voice, and they basically use like the same fucking voice for all of the ships in Warcraft 2. I'm doing this because it's missing from the other one, and I found it funny. Stop rocking the boat. You're making me seasick. And then he pukes everywhere, and it like splatters and makes awesome sounds. It's like it's fucking insane. I used to be able to do oh hell, what was it? It's the peon? Oh, I know it was the peasant at one point. It was like, oh, what? No, what? It doesn't. Fuck it. I used to be able. Here's one. I used to be able to do like the. I think it was the Goblin Zeppelin. But fuck, man. Somebody last night said my voice hadn't cracked. I hadn't been able to do that voice since my voice cracked. It's horrible, I know. You know, I like singing some of these songs. Who do you think it is? Come on, take a guess. Come on, you know you wanna. Just guess. Say it out loud. You don't have to tell me, cause you know the answer. Singing some of these songs in like an attempt to be in a demonic voice. Let me see if I can find one that's worthwhile. I already sang Paparazzi in Booberdy version. Let's see. You know, really, the Fame Monster. Cold in the bedroom, man. Cold in the bedroom, man. Rama, ga, ga, ooh la la. Want your bedroom, man. Okay, that hurt. You know, right now, I decided to rewatch the Alejandro video, because that's what I do. I've only watched it at least 40 times. You know, I actually figured it out, time-wise, because this video is almost 8 minutes 45 seconds. I figured just at 8:45, you know, that's an okay time frame to look at. Every 4 views equates to 35 minutes. So that's 350 minutes in watching it 40 times. That's 6 hours and 50 minutes of watching a video, one video, repeatedly. And when I first watched this video, I found the first thing I noticed that was actually a little bit of annoying was the repetition of the violin at the beginning for the first 2 minutes, almost 2 minutes anyway. What I didn't notice though is the first time you see her face when she's wearing those goggles, if you're watching it on low quality, you may not actually see it, especially if the video is small size, but she's actually got fangs on her canines. They're like silvery looking. It's pretty cool, actually. I didn't notice that the first time around. And then toward the end of the video, there's the repetition of Alejandro, 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 Alejandro over and over and over again. But I realized, you know, obviously there was something appealing about this video when I've watched it over 40 times. I've spent over 6 hours, 7 hours watching this. It's the artistic merit, I believe. Even though there are some flaws in it, this video is visually entertaining for me, where I kind of forget the song. And maybe that's the point, because it starts at right around, I don't know, the minute mark or so, all the way to the end at 8:43. The song's only like 4.5 minutes long, so it's almost double its length, musically speaking, in the video. But I find all the imagery to be the fun part. Sure, it was, you know, initially it kind of sucked with the repetition, but right now I'm watching the scene where she's in the barracks in her, you know, bra and panties, and the first thing you see is her basically, you know, she's not actually doing it, but when it looks like she's fucking that dude in the ass, that's pretty hot. I don't know why. Maybe it's this sort of dominant. Oh, and if you go to 420, she does the jerk off move. It's fucking amazing. Every time I see it, I'm like, wait for it. Jerky, 420. How funny is that? It's amusing to me. Shut up. I live in Texas. It's 4:16 in the AM. I don't know if my accent is noticeable. Most people who are from other areas say it is. Most people who are from Texas think I'm from somewhere else. So essentially, everybody thinks I'm from fucking somewhere else. Oddly enough, how that translates in moo. Yes, I like doing that. It's fun. I don't really fit in anywhere. Not that it's really a problem. I mean, it'd be nice if perhaps I was recognized a little more often by more than just the same people. You know, oddly enough, the whole concept, that Gaga's message to her fans and other people is that, you know, find a freak in me kind of thing, and to, you know, what is it, when she closes the doors, or when the concert starts, she's like, I locked the doors, all the freaks are outside. The funny thing is I'm almost certain that when I go to that concert in July, I'm going to be the freak amongst them. I'm going to be the one that stands out. Maybe not obviously. First of all, I'm 28. I'm not 15. I'm an intelligent person who isn't an overzealous, insane Gaga fan. I don't have any tattoos, and I don't plan on getting any fucking tattoos that are Gaga inspired. You know, I'm not gonna get one of her tattoos, or I'm not gonna get a tattoo that says Monster, or get the claw, or any bullshit like that. It's weird. In a way, it's a good thing, though, the obscurity. I used to hate being you know, the obscure person. I've always liked attention. Why do you think I'm doing this? Still posting shit when nobody's responding to it. Maybe they're all listening to the previous show. I don't know. That's about an hour long, mind you. Oh, that was yummy. No more beer for the night. I don't know what I was saying. Something about obscurity. Oh yeah. It was like, no matter how hard I tried, no matter how little or how much I tried, people essentially ignored me. And now, in a way, it's kind of a good thing, because I can be on my own and take care of myself when I need to, and I don't have to worry about what other people's behaviors are going to do to affect my world. That can be bad, though. That can lead to hermetism, if you will, being a hermit. But whatever. I like making fun of Texans because they sound stupid. Hey there, buddy. Where you think you taking that there pretty car of yours? You's out in boondocks. And this ain't them black folks on that Adult Swim TV show that I be hearing about. My uncle is pretty rednecky. Now, he doesn't really sound like that, but he gets there. He has a Texan accent, even though my family is initially from the north. But they've been living in Texas all their lives, so I think because I'm somewhat educated and I wouldn't say I'm well-read or overly sophisticated. What was it? I think Jeff Foxworthy said that he defines a redneck as, oh, what was it? Shit. I think it's an overwhelming lack of sophistication. The man is richer than I will ever know. He has possessed more money in some fashion or another than I ever will combine throughout all of my life. And his career isn't dead yet. He's still making money. He's still doing tours and shit, I'm sure of it. But I still rednecks, because, hell, I'm from Redneckville, Texas, baby. I don't know what the hell that was. Apparently it was just a cough. Whatever. Alright, so it appears that the night is over. TOTKORadio will be signing off shortly. I live in an apartment. It's not the greatest apartment. It's a roof over my head. I don't really know what I'm talking about here. I can talk about Gaga again. There's nobody there. You know what, I'm gonna do it anyway. Why not? Fuck it. I find it peculiar that I fantasize about this woman quite regularly while at work. Now, maybe I find it peculiar not necessarily because I do it, but the context in which I do it. I find her sexually attractive, visually. She may not be the most classically beautiful person. I don't know exactly what she looks like without makeup. There's that, you know, that beach shot that you see online, but you know, at the time she had a little more weight to her. You know, she hadn't been working out as much. She hadn't been as popular. She hadn't been, you know, doing nearly as many tours. Physically, she hadn't been as active, and so she had more body mass. At the same time, you know, how is it that every goddamn time there's a candid shot of somebody, it always looks like crap? You know, it's almost like they're using some sort of weird-ass ugly filter or some shit on their cameras. I don't know. I mean, there's, what was it? There's pictures of Jennifer Love Hewitt a couple summers ago, and she's in a bikini out in, like, the ocean or some shit, and they're kind of unflattering, but, you know, you look at the woman, it's like, really, you wouldn't think And I think it's just simply because there's not two eyes. It's just that camera. The camera does not... First of all, they always say, well, the camera adds 10 pounds. It's true. Because it's not giving you a sense of perception of two eyeballs, like a normal human would. It's not giving you the full view. And so you're not getting a rounded picture, you're just getting a flat shot. And so I think what it does is it enhances things. And you know, plus, since you're not having perpetual focus on this image like your eyeballs do, certain details aren't blurred, whereas others are not. Are you know, in this, some details would normally be blurred, but maybe they're in more focus, and things that would otherwise be focused upon are no longer in focus. Who knows? But it's weird. These fantasies, the majority of them, I'm going to go with 95%, they involve basically just talking to her, having a conversation, being friendly and being nice, and sort of just developing a general, I guess, friendship with her. And maybe it's because I'm lonely. I don't know. I know I am. I don't know if I'm miserable. I guess compared to others, yeah, I'm miserable. You know, I work from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. every day. I get off on the weekends, but hell, I get home. Right now it's 5:45 a.m. I'm about to go to bed 6 a.m. Probably not going to get much sleep. And get up, maybe go do some laundry or some shit. You know, when I get off of work tomorrow, it'll be 12 a.m. Saturday morning. You know, what is everybody else doing at 12 a.m. on Saturday morning? They've already been at the bar for 6 hours or more. I'm just getting off of work. By the time I ever hit the bar up, you know, people, it's thinned out, you know, the bands have started, so it's obnoxious and loud, and you can't talk to anybody. So it's really not worth it. And plus, I can't really afford to hit up bars that often. And everything else is closed. You know, I'm in a city that, you know, New York is a city that never sleeps. My city goes to sleep at fucking 6 p.m. for the most part. I mean, Best Buy closes at 8 o'clock on Sunday. Most things are closed on Sunday as it is. You can't get your car fixed. So, getting back, I guess. Saturday, Sunday, you know, I'm getting up at noon or 2 p.m. Why? Because I get off of work at 12, and then I go to bed at whenever, and then I have to try to catch up on some sleep. So it's difficult to meet people if you don't know where to meet them. And if you don't know anybody, who knows where to meet these people? And so essentially I spend the majority of my time alone. And I think perhaps that's, you know, sort of a coping mechanism. You know, I've established this peculiar relationship with this female pop artist. And the one thing that always seems to recur is that I want to have a conversation with her. She's a smart woman. I've seen enough interviews to know this. She's strange in the general scheme of things. You know, most people consider weird or strange or abnormal or crazy or kooky. I think she's normal. But maybe that's because she reminds me of me in that sense. You know, this is before I even found out that, you know, she was trying to do this freaking me, you know, well, it makes it sound like she's sort of trying to be gimmicky. I think she's sincere about it. It's before I found out about what her message was to her fans. The few interviews that I had seen in the beginning and the things that I saw in regards to her outfits and whatnot, I was like, you know, it's a little peculiar, but I like it because it is peculiar. You know, I had to come to terms to a lot of stuff. And I think overall, you know, as I said in the beginning, you know, she's not classically pretty. You know, Kesha or Katy Perry, or Taylor Swift, they look prettier than she does with minimal makeup on. You know, Gaga's a little androgynous looking. She's got somewhat of a square jaw. She's got a larger nose. But it doesn't really matter to me. I find those traits endearing, actually. Some Anon on here, whenever we have Gaga threads come up, post that one picture from the Bad Romance video where she's kind of just like staring ahead. And I always know it's the same person because the name of the file is something along these lines. I bet she gives the best Eskimo kisses. And Eskimo kisses are rubbing your nose together. And because she's got a big nose, I mean, it's humorous. You know, and all of these interactions and these fantasies it's genuine. There's no real pretense to it all. It's fun, it's flirty. Mostly it's me talking because I'm talking to myself. You know, I pretend as if she's, you know, producing some sort of reactions, and, you know, somehow I'm shocking her because, you know, I think too much of myself or some bullshit, I don't know. And then 5% region is when everything kind of goes a completely different route. I mean, earlier today was the first time anything regarding, not actually involving, but anything regarding potential sexual contact was involved. You know, the funny thing is, I was sort of imagining this whole TOTKORadio thing, and as if I actually got my own radio show and was live on the air or whatever. And she was supposed to be my guest for the next day or some bullshit, and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta get her a gift. So, you know, I scour the internet for this one gift that I want, and, you know, it's an awesome fucking gift, and I give it to her when she shows up, and she's all, you know, like, fucking grateful and shit, and it's like the best thing she's ever received, and she's like, holy shit, I need you to read something. And so she takes out her BlackBerry, and she's got this message that she wrote down, like, before she was even really popular, or, you know, when she first got the BlackBerry or some bullshit or whatever. And it basically, you know, describes the perfect man for her, like this man who, you know, gives her the thing in the world that she's been looking for and could never find, and so on and so forth, and all this effort and, you know, metaphorical BS in regards to what I was doing. You know, it's obviously self-fulfilling bullshit fantasy, because hell, who thinks of a fantasy that, you know, sucks and doesn't work out for the better? You know, and there's like relationship type stuff, you know, marriage scenarios, kids, love, etc., whatever. You know, shit like that. I still want to see what she would wear when and if she ever got married. Because I think, and here's how I saw it. Standing at the altar in a normal, everyday, you know, movie, picturesque wedding, and when she comes in, I see her, but I don't, within the imagery, within the fantasy, I see her, but I don't actually know what she's wearing. I don't actually see it. I don't envision it. It's just that I know that it's fitting and it is considered by society to be absurd and crazy, and my response is, while standing up there waiting for her to come down there, I bust out laughing. I'm like, holy shit, that is awesome! Right in front of the whole congregation, all throughout the church. I don't give a shit, and she's looking at me, and she's got this big fucking grin on her face. And that's all. You've been listening to TOTKO Radio. Go fuck yourself, fuckface. Signing off.